Starting out today. Welcome to Unity Church of Pomona Valley's Sunday, October 26th service. You may have noticed that our lessons have not followed in order of what I thought they were going to be and put in the bulletin. And a part of that may be because this month, and we're talking about scary thoughts and how they affect us and how positive thinking and spiritual thinking is a way to move out of that. But scary thoughts affect everything, right? So if you have scary thoughts about one aspect of your life, most likely that is going to have an impact on other areas of your life. Your health, your relationships, your success, et cetera, et cetera. So that is why we're kind of bouncing around this month. But today we are looking at how scary thoughts affect our capability, what we think we can do. And so I'm kind of excited about this because I found some interesting material. Let's see. So it's time for our opening song this month. Jennifer Derry is here as our fill-in pianist, and we really appreciate your doing that, Jen. And we are singing "I Love Myself the Way I Am." Nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel the love inside myself, it's easy to love you too. Behind your tears, your rage and fears, I see a shining star. And I love you just the way you are. A page turner. Okay. I love the world the way it is. I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am, but still I want to grow. For change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best I can. For I love myself just the way I am. And thank you, Jennifer.
Such as it is.
Such as it is. Well, you are capable, Jennifer, and that is the lesson today. So thank you for stepping up. let us pray. I invite you to let my words be your words. I am capable. As a divine expression of the One, I am capable of much more than I can even imagine. Let us just take that thought in as the divine expression of the One. I am capable of much more than I can imagine. Today, I let go of limits that I have set for myself. I also let go of limits that others may have set for me or told me that I have or should have. And I listen to that still small voice of God within me to discern what is mine to do. I bring my awareness to my heart. I listen in the stillness to the small voice within to get my guidance, my direction from my source. Then I allow the divine to do what is mine to do through me, with me, as me, in effortless and joyous ways, as my ego steps aside and my Christ within steps forward. I allow myself to be amazed at all that Spirit can do in me, through me, as me. Let us take a deep breath. And know that this is truth. And so it is. Amen and amen. And now, let us sing together the Lord's Prayer. And let us just see that God indeed, God within us, God throughout all creation and beyond is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, here and everywhere, forever. And so it is. Thank you, God. Our announcements are we've got food and fellowship after service, so thank you all who brought food. We are through with our book study for now, and I'm hoping to start a new one in the new year. So if you're interested in book study, either in person or on Zoom, let me know. I'm thinking about doing some metaphysical Bible study. So anyway, let me know if you're interested in how you might like to see that happen. But Wednesday then is our Unity meditation and prayer this week, and it is from 6:30 to 7:30, and the Zoom link is there. Anyone is welcome to join us. Next Saturday is the big day. Compassionate Pomona comes out of Unity Church. It involves a whole lot of people in our community, and we are having our Kindness Carnival, our Kindness Festival this year, to spread a consciousness of kindness to calm the chaos that is in our Pomona Valley and throughout our United States and probably through the world. And so if anybody wants to help, we are still looking for a few volunteers. It's going to be fun, and just come down and have fun. It's downtown Pomona at the Sean Diamond Plaza, Saturday from 2 to 5:30. Come and play, come and help, whatever you want to do. There'll be a lot going on. So next Sunday is also a day that we go off of daylight savings time, so we get to move our clock back an hour and get an extra hour of sleep, or whatever you want to do in that extra hour before you come to church. So enjoy that, remember that, and thank you, Jackie, for that reminder. I have a friend that teaches at the University of Laverne, and she's teaching a class on aging. She asked me if any of my senior congregants would like help several hours a week from a student this semester. So if you consider yourself a senior and you are interested, let me know. It can be all kinds of help, but it cannot be transportation. They can't drive us places. So that would, and it's only for this semester, but it might be a really nice way to build relationships, get help, etc. And then next Sunday, we started a couple weeks ago, we had a Unity 102 class, and we finished it before we finished it. And so I thought next Sunday work for you guys to finish that course? Okay, so we'll take an hour after lunch and get several of you ready to join if you want to join, or at least through the classwork. Compassionate Pomona's next meeting is next Thursday, November 6th. Hard to believe we're almost in November. And Wednesday night, November 12th, is our Interfaith Share and Prayer Circle. Some of you have come to that. It's very powerful. So, and it's right here in this chapel. And then our Unity bylaws require that we have an annual meeting every year in the fall after the end of our fiscal year. And so Linda Lowry is preparing our books for this meeting, and we're having it on November 16th. I had first thought November 9th, but Linda will be traveling, and so we're going to wait and have it on the 16th. So everybody is welcome to come. I'm seeing this as a celebration, a time to celebrate who we are and what we do, and what we've been through and where we're going. Yeah.
About the Compassionate Carnival,
Uh-huh.
I took some of your flyers. I'm going to see Giovanni Martinez tomorrow. He's the operations manager from Claremont UCC.
Oh, great.
And I'm going to give him some of the flyers and ask him to put that on the bulletin so that all of the people who get the email bulletin from Claremont UCC
Wonderful.
can see that.
I really appreciate that, because we want to have a lot of people. We're going to have at least over 40 resource organizations are going to be there to share resources and have games and activities for people. There's going to be wonderful entertainment lined up for the whole time. Just a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
I could email Jacob tonight or this
Ruth?
Because I don't think he knows anything about compassion at Pomona.
He probably doesn't. Yeah. So, yeah, please, anybody, just listen to your inner spirit and share this with whoever comes to mind.
Well, they're going to do something new. They're going to have a safe parking space in their parking lot for people who are living out of their cars.
Oh,
at
wow.
night, so that they don't get harassed by the Claremont police. Because if you park over a certain amount of hours in Claremont,
Yeah.
and you don't have a permit, you'll get harassed.
Well, that's
by
a
the
great
police.
idea. Maybe other churches.
Tracy Earlyline could do the same thing here.
Yeah, we can talk to the ministers here about that possibility.
I've
Yeah.
never seen Tracy Earlyline. One of these days, I have to go to CCSL.
Yeah.
And I run out of time constantly.
So we need to get on through. So let's talk some more about your ideas after the service, Ruth, okay? Another thing that you, Ruth, are involved in is collecting food for the UCC church that you also attend. And also, we are collecting for the Emerson Community School in Pomona, hygiene items and backpacks and school lunch boxes. So those collections are at the back of the chapel. So thank you all for thinking of and donating to that. Let us remember how blessed we are as we share our affirmation that is now on the screen. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all I am, all I give, all I do, and all that I receive. And as Liz passes the basket, I invite you to use our Zelle QR code if that is easier for you to donate to our church. Linda catches those as bank income.
I already put mine in.
Thank you, Ruth. Okay, I invite Jackie Morrison to come and to read today's daily word.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The word for today is discover. As I discover, I learn and grow. My life is a journey of discovery. Over the years, I may have traveled to other lands, discovering new cultures and landscapes. Through my explorations, I have learned all kinds of things and grown in all kinds of ways. My spiritual life has been a journey of discovery as well. Through my spiritual practice, I have deepened in my understanding of God and of myself as a spiritual being. I have discovered new landscapes within myself as I have communed with God in prayer and have changed my life through the power of my thinking. As long as I live, I will find more to discover. Questioning, learning, and growing help me discover the wonders within and all around me. And from Jeremiah 33:3, call to me and I will answer you and will tell you great and hidden things that you have not known.
Thank you, Jackie.
And I think travel is one way that we get to learn about other people.
We do. And to see the wonders of the world and the beauty. Yes, thank you. So today the song before the sermon is Love is the Answer. There's 2 verses. And Jennifer, thank you. It is in Wings of Song 122 if you have or need a songbook. Anybody want Wings of Song? No. Okay.
You've got it on the screen.
I
That's
do.
probably good enough.
Well, some people like to follow the notes, the melody. But okay. Yeah, that helps the screen, right? Does it make the screen better when that light is off?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it helps my vision.
It helps our vision. Okay, thank you, David. So, we are talking today about scary thoughts. And I know you guys like humor, so today's scary thought is I am not enough. Then that thought brings us a lot of ideas about limitations in our lives. And when we realize that God is with us, that then our capacity, our capability really shoots up, right? When we realize this is not just us alone, but we have this tremendous power and presence with us, in us, helping us with everything we do. So, this is a story I found on the internet, and it's called Finding Work. Jim is a young guy, and he lives in a small town, but he failed to graduate from high school. He left school, and when he did that, his father said to him, "Son, you failed high school, but you're a man now, so you must contribute some money to the household if you want to live here. So get a job, or you'll have to find somewhere else to live." Naturally, Jim's concern about finding work without any qualifications put him in quite a nervous state, and the local economy was bad. Work prospects in the area were slim. However, 3 factories were in that town, and they were willing to hire unskilled help. But these 3 factories, all 3 of them had a bad reputation for working at. Having little choice, Jim gets a job at the factory that is widely regarded as the best of the 3. His first day of work was truly awful. He hates the place. Everyone is so miserable, and people don't speak to each other. Nevertheless, Jim is determined he will stick with it and make the best of it. 2 weeks go by, and Jim gets his first paycheck. It's not much, but he takes it home with pride and shows his father. His father looks at the check and says, "Son, this isn't good enough. I'm not happy at all." Jim panics and says, "Pa, I'll do better. Don't kick me out. Just give me another chance." Then he goes out and he gets himself a job at the factory widely regarded as the second best of the 3. His experience on the first day of his new job is even worse than before. People look downtrodden and broken by their miserable lives. Everyone is unhappy. However, Jim is determined that he won't let his father down. 2 weeks go by, and Jim gets his first paycheck. Again, it isn't much, but he takes it home and he gives it to his father with pride. His father looks at the check and then says, "Son, what are you thinking? This is not good enough either." Well, Jim feels awful. However, he goes out and he gets a job at the factory that is widely regarded as the worst place to work in town. The experience of his first day is the saddest that you can imagine. Other employees are sobbing, and some seem to think ending it all might be preferable to the misery of their existence. Every day is a struggle for Jim, but he sticks to it, and after 2 weeks he gets his first paycheck. Fearing his father's reaction, Jim stumbles home, broken, and assuming his fate would be to be thrown out onto the street. He gets home and he hands his father the check, quaking. His father looks at the check and then looks at Jim in the eye and says, "Son, This is okay now. You have done a satisfactory job. Boo! Satisfactory job. Sometimes we have to go through that satisfactory job to get where we need to go, right? And can we believe in ourselves enough to go through the things that we have been through? Despite the pun. How many of you have gone through amazing or sad or things that you can hardly believe you made it through? Yeah, okay, many of us. Even raising children can be a sad, satisfactory job. Myrtle Fillmore is the mother of Unity and our co-founder, and she told this to Unity students. Myrtle told Unity students that that spiritual development required concerted effort. Lazy persons and those who preferred a life of ease to one in which they applied their talents and abilities diligently would not reap the benefits. Contact with God required alertness, awareness, and action. She acknowledged we usually don't accomplish many things worthwhile without steadfastness and persistent effort. Do you think that's true?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm painting my house now.
Yes.
It has to have the outside. The inside is done. The outside needs steadfastness and persistent effort.
Persistent effort. And to do what is ours to do in the world, that is the attitude, I believe, and I have found in my own life, I can't speak for other people, that works best. Most people that we admire as successful have had to fail in order to get where they've gone. They've had to go through hard stuff, right? Many start at the bottom and work their way up. Many have failed and started over and over again. And it is that whole idea of failing. And, you know, most of us aren't taught about failing. Most of us are only taught succeed, 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 right? Well, this is a quote from Michael Jordan. I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. It's very common for people that are at the top of their career ladders to know and talk about the failures that they've had. Here is another quote. Have you failed today? If not, you might not be trying hard enough. Failure is a part of growth, a stepping stone towards success. In its own right, it is a small victory and should be celebrated as such. So I ask you again, have you failed today? Well, if you're in a relationship, you may feel like you failed today. Relationships go up and down with families, with loved ones, with friends, right? And so just because there's what feels like a failure does not mean it's the end. It just means there's a rough spot, right? Then there is wisdom from, I can never remember, Joel Osteen. Oh, this is Joel Osteen. You may have failed, but you are not a failure. That's what you did. That is not who you are. You believe that? Yeah. And then this one. Can you read who it is?
Is it Michael Martindale?
Something like that, yeah. Only victory should tell you that you have failed long enough. And that victory, that sense of, I've gotten there. Even though, you know, you get there, I don't know that you stay there forever, right? Because there's always another mountain to climb or another thing to do or another process of learning. So whether or not your family believes in you, do you believe in you? Do you believe in yourself?
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you, Ruth. Jackie Morrison created a spiritual banner with God's help that reads, "With God all things are possible." And she loves it that this thing of enormous beauty, this flower, has grown from the mud at the bottom of the pond. And it is the mud in our lives that we grow from, right? And mud can be messy, it can feel icky, it can be challenging. We tend to judge it, but it is out of the mud in our lives that we grow into these beautiful lives that we have. And a lot of our difficulties may be a part of that mud that nourishes us and helps us develop. Sufi Hazrat Inayat Khan writes, "We should never allow that spirit of mastery which is in us to become blunted by a feeling of inability, for the essence of life is hope. And when we hope for the better, we shall be better." And so that is that God within us. The beloved is what the Sufis call God, and the Muslims call God within us, what we might call Christ within, or our I am presence. I have a friend, Diana Chavez Ketterman, and she is here in the picture with one of the Character Champion Kids images. And this is the whole packet of Character Champion Kids. And Diana felt her story is really amazing. In fact, she's writing a book about her life. She felt very isolated as a child, and she didn't really understand why other kids didn't want to play with her. Have any of you felt that from time to time, like you were left out of play or left out of groups or shunned by some other kids? Well, it wasn't until she was maybe 50 that she was tested, and she found out that she had been and was autistic. And that helped her understand, she was kind of a funny-looking, funny-acting kid. And that's probably why the kids did not relate to her or call her in to play with them. And however, and as painful as that was, it did not stop her from becoming a school counselor for 30 years in our PUSD system. And as a school counselor, she helped kids that felt out of it, kids that were in pain because of friends, because of family problems, because of their personalities, because of their temperament. And she helped them understand themselves, and she developed this thing called Character Champion Kids, which Reverend Marianne has worked with her for over 20 years. They've been working with these characters, both kids and animals. They're animal friends. And she taught these kids that they are valuable, lovable, capable, and important. Now, wouldn't it be amazing? Think what your life would be like if you had known that as a young child, that you were valuable, that you were capable, that you were lovable, and that you were important. You may have gotten those values from your family, but many children do not. And then she went on to become a clinical psychologist, to write a number of books. Some of her books have been in China teaching English. We're working with Pomona Unified School District now to work with a school, to work with the Character Champion Kids. Diana has not let failure stop her from being all that she can be. She really is one of my heroes. I want you to, let's look for a minute at Master Jesus. Do you remember what his first miracle was? Yes, good one. He went to a wedding that his mother was at, and while they were there, well, let me just read it to you. On the third day, there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there, and Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. And when the wine gave out, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, what concern is that to me or to you? My hour has not come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Now, standing there were 6 stone jars for the Jewish rite of purification, each holding 20 or 30 gallons. And Jesus said to them, "Fill the jars with water." And they filled them up to the brim. And he said to them, "Now, draw out some and take it to the person in charge of the banquet." So they took it. And when the person in charge tasted the water that had become wine and did not know where it came from, although the servants who had drawn the water knew, that person called to the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone serves the good wine first, and then the inferior wine after the guests have become drunk. But you have kept the good wine until now." Jesus did this, the first of his signs in Cana of Galilee, and revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. Now, as I read this again, I'm looking at the role of Mary. She kind of called him out to do this, didn't she? Even though he said, "Why, I'm not involved in this," she called him, she invited him to help to do this, and the miracle came forth. Sometimes our families or our friends encourage us to step out, don't they? And to do that thing that we may fear, or we may fear it's not time yet, or I'm not ready yet, or whatever. And so we can get going on the road that we need to go down. What other miracles do you remember? I'm going to take that off a minute, that Jesus did. You remember some of them? The loaves and the fishes, yes.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Walking on water.
Curing, there were
Lots of healings. Lots and lots of mental health healings, physical healings. Yes. He raised several people from the dead. So there were all kinds of things that he was able to do that were miracles. And interestingly, many people were drawn to Jesus because of his miracles. I turned my TV on the other night, and there was a magic show on. And I guess, a lot of people like to watch, the illusions and the magic and the magician. But when it came to really talking about spiritual things and listening to Jesus' teachings, they disappeared. And then when the miracles came, then they'd come back because they wanted the show. But they didn't necessarily want to take responsibility for their lives. They wanted somebody to do something for them. What does Jesus say about the miracles? He says in John 14, and he says this several times in similar ways, "Very truly I tell you, the one who believes in me will also do the works that I do, and in fact do greater works than these. Because I am going to the Father. I will do whatever you ask in my name, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If in my name you ask me for anything, I will do it." So the question is, who is the me that Jesus refers to? Pardon? I believe it is the God presence. Jesus was so connected to God, so aligned. He spent so much time in prayer and meditation and aligning himself with the one that kind of became his identity. So when he says, to me, in me, ask me, I believe he is talking to ask the Christ, ask the divine in you that is in me, because it's one divine, right? And so if you ask the one that is in you, that is also in me, then you will be able to do all the things that I do. In New Thought, we believe that Jesus came here to teach us that we can align ourselves with God the way he did, right? And that we, like him, are capable of doing miraculous things. Did Jesus run into difficulties? Of course he did. Is anybody, I often look at my difficulties and I often look at Jesus. Well, he's my way shower, my model. But if Jesus ran into difficulties, who am I to think that I will avoid them all? Because we're human. And having these bodies and being with other humans, it's just going to happen. But they're all for good if we can find the gift in the challenges. Shinjan Yen, who is a Buddhist teacher with the Middle Chen, she is with Suchi. She's the head of the Suchi Foundation order that is in San Dimas. And she writes, a pure, upright mind is not afraid of being slandered. Be proper and sincere. Regardless of how others malign us, it is a chance to improve our character even more. It's hard when people say difficult things to us, when people tell us their perspective of us, right? Sometimes we don't want to hear it. But if we can be centered enough in who we truly are, then we can let the words bounce off or look at them and say, is this what I think is true? Is this person telling me truth, or is this person projecting his own perspective and own challenges onto me? Which people tend to do all the time, right? So it's a good opportunity, and yet not easy to do. I haven't experienced a lot of negativity from other people, but I have certainly felt less gifted than many of my friends. When I was growing up, and I shared some of this with you, I grew up in Topeka, Kansas, and I lived in a neighborhood, and I had a group of friends, and they were really smart. Most of them got all A's or A's and B's, and it was hard for me to keep up with them. They would go home and study maybe an hour for every 4 hours that I had to study. And I've shared before here, I don't know if I had a learning disorder, if it was my eyes, because I've always had challenges with my eyes. I'm a slow reader, and that may be a lot of it, because reading homework took time for me, probably a lot more time than it did for them. And yet, even that disability gave me an ability that I love, and that is I love to work hard. I learned to work hard because of my disability that has never been named, and that loving and willing and enjoying working hard has kept me alive, I think, for a very long time, past when most of my friends have retired. So can you think in your own life of things that may have seemed a challenge, a disability, a problem, that you had to overcome and that you gained strength from? Anybody? Has that happened in your life?
A certain amount of shyness, I think.
Shyness, yes. Yeah. And you are not so shy anymore, Jackie. You are not.
Unity's been good for me.
And unity has been good for you. Liz?
Yeah, when I moved here about 25 years ago, here to Southern California from back east, and living a lot. Anyways, I had a series of breakdowns, and including a manic episode. He talks about me in handcuffs.
Wow.
And it was because I think now it's because I married the right person because I had 3 kids and 2 grandkids, but I mean, that person and my values were not the same.
Yeah.
And, my reason for my life. So anyway, that got me divorced. And then I started a new life with the help of meditation and Alcoholics Anonymous.
So you've had quite a journey.
Oh, yeah.
And that the breakdown that you had when you moved here and the mismatch of your marriage partner with your marriage partner and the divorce, that all has led you to meditation, to AA, work which you're very steeped in, right? And has continued to lift you up. As well as unity. You've been with us quite a long time.
Yeah, because I learned a lot here too.
Yeah. So it's, we can look at it, it's all grist for the mill, as Ram Dass says. It's all a part of who we are. Mother Teresa says, I can do things that you cannot. You can do things that I cannot. Together, we can do great things. One of the blessings of our differences is we all bring different gifts into this space, into this church. Different gifts, different abilities, different insights, different experiences, different strengths, etc. And therefore, as we come together, the whole is created. I like to look at our church board, and this is just some of the things that we bring to each other. I bring teaching, even though I once hated and totally hated public speaking. Hated. I was very shy, but I was so nervous that I would almost rather die. As many people, that's the biggest fear in the world is public speaking. Jackie Morrison brings tradition and a willingness to deal with the practical things here, like paying the bills. Jennifer, longtime board member, has a passion for sharing food and bringing the community together communally. After our services, she brings art, she brings loyalty, she brings music, and a willingness to be our secretary, the secretary of the board. Philip Centeno, who we don't see very often, but he brings not only art, but a willingness to find things online and explore new possibilities. He's looking for a shed now to replace our 2 pods that we rent, something that we can buy and put in the parking lot and
Probably
keep.
the masculine outlook.
And that whole masculine perspective, yeah, we don't have a lot of that here. And Nancy Zalazar brings wisdom not only from New Thought, because she's been in Unity a long time, but other Unity churches. Also Sky Breathing, she's traveled, spent a lot of time in India. She has a lot of energy and gifts, and she speaks and translates Spanish amazingly beautifully. So, and then Linda Lowry, the 5th person on our board, brings a head for numbers, one that I don't particularly have, for accounting and bookkeeping and all those things that we need to keep our church in good standing, as well as the ability to run meetings and play and do things like the SWAC that we did a couple of weeks ago. So when we bring our gifts together, we have this working body with many different systems aligning themselves to each other, which makes it work. we're all capable of doing that which is ours to do. But how do we know what's ours to do? How do you think we know what is ours to do? If I want to be like Linda, do you think I can do bookkeeping? I don't think so.
Might be more challenging.
It would be definitely more challenging. If I had to, I could, but I'm sure glad that I don't. I think we go in. Again, we listen to that still small voice, and we feel the pull and the push of what is ours to do. And it can change, right? And we all have a lot of gifts within us that we have not even touched into. So there is always surprises that are within us. And sometimes we are called to do something that's different or difficult or fearful. And yet, if we are following God's guidance, we know we can step forward and we are going to be helped in doing that. Just like the art that Jackie thought she could never do. And now, Margaret from the Daw is calling her an artist. So, because with God, all things are possible, Jackie, right? That's right. Hazrat Inayat Khan again says, I work simply, not troubling about results. My satisfaction is in accomplishing the work which is given to me to the best of my ability, and I leave the effect to the cause. We are never going to know how successful we are in anything. We may feel successful, others may applaud us for a minute or two, or a year or two, or whatever. But, everything has ripples and goes out, and so we may be touching lives that we don't even know about us, or know about the work that we have been doing. I invite you to think about who are some of the people that you admire that have overcome great challenges. Helen Keller is the first on my mind, because I can't even think being dumb and being blind, being deaf and blind. She was not dumb.
How she could do public speaking.
How she could do public speaking.
But she couldn't hear, but she could learn to talk.
She could learn, and she had a companion that believed in her. Anne Sullivan, and taught her how. And they were together for many, many, many years. So, and a family that worked hard to support her as well. Although in the beginning, if you remember the movies about her, they did it wrong. They didn't want to they spoiled her, so she didn't have to learn, right? So sometimes we got to hear the hard stuff to get to where we need to go.
Well, Mother Teresa, too.
Mother Teresa. Who else? Who are amazing people in your life? Myrtle Fillmore, absolutely. Yeah, she was an amazing person. Nelson Mandela.
My minister,
Margaret Stevens, Abraham Lincoln, Gandhi.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King. I mean, the list, once you get going, you can think of so many. So let's take a minute for meditation. I invite you to go within and to think of one of the famous people that has overcome a great challenge or a great failure to become successful. And in your mind, imagine walking with them through a few of their downs and a few of their ups. Imagine their emotions at the hard places. Imagine their emotions at the peaks of their success. And then let that go and imagine someone you know, a neighbor, friend, someone in your family that has overcome challenges. And imagine in your mind's eye walking with them and their emotions through the hard places. And then through the victories. And then let that go. And finally, with that same loving care, imagine walking with yourself through a few of your own ups and downs. Like a guardian angel might walk and have walked with you. And imagine the low as well as the high points. And then celebrate yourself. Celebrate the divine that has led you to this place to be the person you are today. And so it is. I invite you to remember that you are capable of doing anything that is yours to do, which is not necessarily what others can do or what others tell you you can do. You have been uniquely created, and the world needs you to be fully you. You have been sent to this world to bring yourself fully. And that's what the spiritual work is about, is opening up the treasure that is within yourself. From the Jewish tradition, and this is my last quote, my ending, Tamara Frankel, Jewish writer, writes, "But if we are truly to manifest godliness, we cannot be robots, because one of the characteristics of the divine is the ability to create freely. And so let us freely create ourselves with love and joy." And so it is. Thank you. Do you have any special music, Jen?
Give me a little while before I get there.
That's what I thought. So let us say the prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The presence of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now, our peace song. There be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let this begin with me. Let this be the moment. Now, with every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And so it is. Thank you. Let us go and eat. David?
Imagine creating that song.
Yes. Listening to Spirit.